Just juggling balls here.
Just juggling balls here. I love it. Guess what? It's time to get serious. I mean, we can still have fun, but up until this point, trade talks have been kind of whimsical, something to push off to the future. Wouldn't it be fun? Well, now it's time to start getting focused. So let's do that. We're going to spend most of the show, if not all of it, talking about trades or possible trades or trade targets, or as Luds likes to say, fantasy hockey, right now on the DLS Stars Pod.
Bang.
Hey, everybody, this is the DLS Stars podcast as we welcome you inside our lounge studios for a daily show. A lot of West Coast hockey lately. Tomorrow as well. It's out in Salt Lake City. So this is our only show of the week in the studio for a midday. We have Craig Ludwig. We have Sam Nessler. Sean Shapiro joins us from snowy Detroit, or as Elliot Friedman likes to say now, Detroit.
Detroit.
Which
he loves that.
Sticks in my head in the weirdest way.
That.
Our producer, Ryan Vaughters. I'm Owen Newkirk. Thanks for joining us. Before we get into our main topic today, we do have a new hoodie. Not many shows have a hoodie, so we have to really shine. We have to celebrate this fact. The Finnish Mafia t-shirt is now a hoodie. Get it before it's gone. The quantities are limited, meaning we probably, most likely, unless you guys sell it out in a day, we'll only do one run of this. So if you want one in the size that you want, order it now. Don't wait. And it's very good looking at alldlls.com. Don't forget, diehards get 20% off all merchandise. All right. As I said in the cold open, the Dallas Stars are 10 games away from the Olympic break. Is a second roster freeze. We had the short one around the holidays. They do that every year. From February 4th to the 22nd, the league will be off for the Olympics. Players will go to Italy. Many players will go to the beach and train on the side, get healthy. And then the roster freeze will lift on the 22nd of February. At that point, Dallas will only have 4 games left before the March 6th NHL Trade Deadline. So we've always looked at this as sort of something off in the distance, a beacon of hope of what could be later on. Now we're starting to get closer to when it actually is a reality. And we had some discussion last night on the post-game show on the late night, back-to-back. Of course, the TNT broadcast, I don't think they started till, what was it, 9:30 Central Time?
24.
Was that what it was? I thought it was later than that.
I believe it was 24.
So it was pretty late. And then, obviously, we had to do the post-game show after that. But we got into some talks about this team feeling a little thin as far as their offense up front, which is ironic considering this team is one of the highest scoring teams in the league and has a potent power play most of the time and pretty decent numbers at 5-on-5, even if we all don't think that they are anywhere near the Colorado Avalanche level of dominance. So lots of ways to get to this and lots of questions. So I want to start with this for everybody. What are the needs for the Dallas Stars roster? Luds, what do you need if you're Jim Nill to get this team ready for what they hope is a 4th consecutive long playoff run?
I think you need a couple depth pieces. I think you need to get guys in the right positions. When I look at the way that I think Jim and his staff has built this team, and I'm speaking more of the style that they believe is going to help them get to where they want to go. It's not a team that's 2 lines deep. It's 4 deep, but the third line can do pretty much the same thing the first 2 lines can do. In other words, in a way. I don't like the whole concept of outscoring your mistakes, but they want to be a team. I think all teams want to be. They want to be a team that it's tough to match up against. And so I think what they're looking for, because I mean, what was it, a year or two ago when everybody was here? They were 3 lines deep. We couldn't. There were nights we didn't know who the first line was versus the second, third. I think that's the MO for this organization. I don't think that's where it is right now.
No.
So we've on here on our show we've talked a lot about Matt Duchene, and all you had to do was watch last night a little bit. Is Matt Duchene the same guy as last year? No, but he's had things he's had to deal with, so he's probably not up to speed. The other thing is he doesn't have Batman and Robin with him on that line like he did with Marchment and Seguin. So
who's Batman and who's Robin?
I don't know. I mean, it used to be Jamie Benn and Tyler Seguin, but I think I look at it was Marchment and Seguin. I mean, when they were together, they were arguably the top line all year last year when they were together at times. So I believe that's what they want to get back to. Now, I think that's what'll help Matt too, because I tell you what, if we're sitting here and we didn't see a difference in Matt Duchene when he got to play a little bit with the top tier guys, there was a different
as the right wing.
There was a different meter going on there. Now, is he still? Did it pick up his quickness and stuff like that? No, but you could tell he had the pom poms out and he was giddy. So I think what you have to do, and you sign Matt to, what did you say it was, 4 years now?
Yep.
So you've signed Matt to that contract, and I think you've got to try to help Matt, but by keeping him in that position. So, and I'm talking about center because he's played there the whole life. I watched him now for I don't know how many games playing the wing in his own zone. Not for me. He just gets a little too running around and stuff like that. He's just used to playing as a centerman. So I think that's I get long-winded thing. I think you got to find a way to get the balance in your top 3 lines, what you're looking for. And I think there's pieces that maybe you don't want to move, but Sean, that's all part of the game. If you want to get to where you're going. But I only look at the teams that aren't going, you're not there's so many teams that have a chance, believe that they have a chance to get into the playoffs right now, with the exception of one team for sure. Well, I don't know. I don't think the Rangers are getting there, but there's a big fish over there. Whether you want to take a run at him or not, I don't know, but I think he'd like to play here. But I don't know if he wants, that's what I'm thinking.
Okay.
And then what do we got? Vancouver, Calgary. All these other teams, Columbus. Chicago, I think all these other teams believe that why are they going to be selling anything?
You're getting ahead of yourself.
Well, you asked me a question, I'm on. So I'm only going to do this show for one more minute, and I'm out. I got things to do.
Well, go ahead, because we'll go to Sean and then to Sam.
No, I think it's Sean.
What are the Stars' roster needs heading into the playoffs and obviously vis-a-vis the trade deadline?
Well, on a quick counterpoint, I don't think Columbus is actually throwing it in yet. I don't think you get Rick Bowness to come coach a team at 70 years old if you were telling him to come in.
Hold on, you're getting ahead of yourself.
Shit.
I'll get to that. I swear I will tee that up.
Okay, but I was following Lud's statement. I thought Lud's and I are just going
Let him go. Tangent. You don't have to stay with your agenda. This is going to be a show where we're not going by your script today.
Stars you need a top 6 forward and you need a top 4D. I think that's the must-have shopping list for me. You have to go get someone who fills both of those roles. There's other pieces I'd like to see you go shopping to enhance the rest of the roster as well. But I think the reality is you got to get a top 6 forward because at the end of the day, it's the classic line from Moneyball. I don't think they need to trade Sam Steele away, but it's the whole you take away a manager's in the Moneyball line from movie. You take the guy out of the lineup so the coach can't play him. I'm not saying you get rid of Sam Steele, but we keep saying Sam wrote all about how Sam on Sam Crime earlier this week about how Sam Steele should not be playing where he is and everything like that. I think one of the ways to handle that is Jim Nill goes and gets his coach a better top 6 option than Sam Steele. So I think that's one thing. And then the other thing is just, I think defensively, I think you need to find, to me, it's been, we talked all about Thomas Harley yesterday and everything like that. I think you need to find another top 4D to play with Thomas Harley. That's going to, whether it's by what that guy does or how the fit works. Once you do both of those things, I feel a lot better about this team winning that series against Minnesota in the spring. And then there's also a bunch of other things that I would be fascinated about doing, but I don't want to put those above priority 1 and 2 right now of go get your forward, go get your D to allow everyone else to slot better.
Hey, Ryan, put that one up there that said about keeping the puck on his stick. I want to know who that was. I just curious because somebody's watching the game. All right. I mean, it was like putting two positive ends of a magnet together.
For those of you listening to this later,
that's right.
This is the comment from Robert in the chat. Dutchie had a hard time keeping the puck on his stick last night.
Yeah, and I do think that's a lot of that is trying to do a lot of everything because of who he. I don't want to say who he has, who he doesn't have.
Yep.
Where when he's got those other guys that he distributes, right? Mm-hmm. And because there was a lot of times it was like that puck wanted nothing to do with you last night. Mm-hmm. So, and again, I just think that's over try, and that's a great player trying to help the team win.
Sam, needs, you agree with Luds and Sean of what the Stars roster needs to address going into the trade deadline?
Yeah, I think Sean said it. I would even say I'd prefer 2 top 9 wingers. Can be centers. They can play anywhere, but just forwards. But I think the key is the Stars have plenty of bottom 6 forwards and bottom pairing defensemen. They got a plethora of them.
They have depth.
They have plenty of depth. Yeah. Plenty of guys that can do that, which gives you 2 things. Gives you players in the positions they shouldn't be in, like Sam Steele on the top line, throwing up Bork, things like that just haven't clicked as much as they maybe wanted it to. And it also gives you trade pieces because you have guys that can fill roles on other teams that you don't necessarily need at this point. So I think top 4D is number 1 for me. Second is a top 6 forward and preferably another top 9 forward, I think, to round it out.
The pieces that you're talking about and that we're talking about, are they pieces that other teams will take to get rid of that player? Or not get rid of that
player? You're talking about to reduce some of
what
your
what we're saying
roster.
is, you have to give something up to get something right. But the other team has to feel really good about those. Mm-hmm. So are those pieces good enough?
One of them is. 22, Maverick Bork.
Yep.
Is a perfect example of someone that someone can say he has the potential. Let's get him a fresh start.
Isn't he be the first ask?
Because
maybe they think the others aren't available. I don't know.
What do you think, Sean? As far as because we'll talk about who we might want, who might be available, which teams might be sellers, and that could change. We'll get into that, but just as far as how the Stars can actually go about making the acquisitions that we're going to talk about with their dwindling assets of picks and prospects in their system because of the aggressiveness as they should have done over the last 3 years. Who in your mind is or who are the pieces that Jim Nill has to work with to facilitate these people that we're going to talk about in the next couple segments?
Yeah, I mean, the first one, if I'm another GM I'm calling about Maverick Bork. Bork is definitely number 1 for me, and I think that's the reality of the situation. I think I'm also calling about the Stars. I know they don't have a ton of picks, but they still have some top 3 round picks in each of the next 3 years. And if I'm another GM too, I'm betting on the Stars kind of trajectory. I wouldn't be if I'm putting myself in another GM's shoes for another team. I wouldn't be too scared. I would wonder about, hey, maybe I start looking at one of those Dallas firsts 2 or 3 years down the line, just when the team might slouch a little bit too. So I think that's in play. I would believe Emil Hemming is definitely an option. I know we talked about him on the show a couple weeks back or last week, whatever it is, times flat circle. But he's got an NHL ready shot. I think he's got an NHL ready shot and someone who was a first round pick and has the pedigree. So I would, I wouldn't be afraid to. For me, Hemming is. I think he could be a future star, but I also think might be better served as an asset. The other thing, just kind of the reality of all of this is. And this is the thing this is why you keep doors open when you go and do things. I never understood the Calgary Flames fascination with Artem Grishnikov a couple of years back, or was it last year in the Tanev trade, right? Like when they went and made the Tanev trade, I never understood Calgary's belief that Grishnikov was the guy. And he's now spent 2 seasons with the Calgary Wranglers, hasn't really done much in the AHL. And so the moral of the story for me on this is you have your prospect pool, and we know the Stars prospect pool closely because we pay close attention to it and we live it day by day. I would be fascinated by when you start getting those calls, and this is why you don't ever give your own public rankings of your own prospects out, I believe. There's going to be a guy that another team thinks that they can take advantage of value wise on the margins. So with Dallas and Calgary trade before is Grishnikov. So there might be that type of opportunity as well, where hey, a pick or maybe something to sweeten the deal. Maybe you have something in your system that someone else has fallen in love with. Their scouting director really liked before, and now is another chance to get them. So don't sell yourself short on anything. But if I was sitting in anyone's chair advising, those are kind of my Hemming and Bork, some picks. The other thing, it's the
Hold on, don't start another thing. Save it. No, save it, because I'm going to ask you three a follow-up question about the assets, and then we'll get into some other topics of this after the ad break here on the DLS Stars podcast. Wild Fork Foods Meat and Seafood Market is the perfect place for you to go grocery shopping. Now, some people might be confused. What do you get at Wild Fork Foods Meat and Seafood Market? Well, that's why we're here. They have over 700 items, including 500 under $10 a pound. They have over 250 cuts of beef, seafood, poultry, pork, even the exotic stuff like ostrich, rabbit, alligator, you name it. I remember going there being amazed at the selection and seeing not only how many different varieties they have, but also friendly butchers and everyday low prices. But it's not just about the meat, although that is the show pony, so to speak. They also have side dishes like mac and cheese, mashed potatoes, spices, breads, desserts. You can pretty much get it all. So frozen is fresher at Wild Fork Foods. Check out one of their 9 DFW area locations and log on to wildforkfoods.com for more info. Now let's discuss Own Well. This is that time of year again, whether it's here in North Texas or wherever you live and consume the DLS Stars podcast, because it's property tax season. Now, you can protest here in Texas and try to keep your taxed appraisal value a little bit lower, but it's a lot of effort, time, stress. You got to make sure you go to your appointments if you have them. Well, Ownwell can do it all for you. And in as little as 3 minutes to sign up, which is super easy, they will take care of everything else. They'll give you an instant estimate of tax savings. It's a seamless online setup. And in the end, 86% of Ownwell customers get their assessed values reduced and save money on property taxes. Average savings for Ownwell is over $1,100. Save time and money on your property taxes with Ownwell. Only pay if you save. Go to ownwell.com/Texas to learn more. That's OWNWELL.com/Texas. All right. Before we get going to the next topic, we were talking about assets. Let me ask you all this. Luds, are you okay giving up a Maverick Bork or an Emil Hemming for a rental? Is that, I mean, there's going for it, and then there's being risky in that.
So, yes, here's what the question I was going to ask. Do we believe by adding, I don't know, two forwards and one defenseman, is this team ready to win a Stanley Cup today? Because that, to me, that you have to believe that if you're willing to give up this stuff. If you're going to say Maverick, Hemming, Sean, or, Bischel. I mean, we haven't mentioned Bischel. I would think there's a lot of people out there. I wouldn't give up Bischel.
I wouldn't either.
I don't think I would. But what I'm saying, Sean, is this team there?
Yeah, I mean, it's if you make the two ads, I think they're right in the fight with Colorado in the playoff series. That's just the problem is who they have to play, right? Yeah. Like I think they're right there. But Luds, you bring up a really good point on Leon, because that was the one I was going to. I prudently decided not to bring up before we went to break. Is Leon played his way into untouchable status in your mind? Just no. Like in all serious, like we always see, like every time, like he used to be in that group of prospects you didn't want to move, and he's been good when he's played. But you go through and you talk about it, like if you could go in a world where, I don't know, if the Calgary Flames said, "Hey, here's Rasmus Andersson, and we'll let you talk to him," and we'll let you talk to him before the deal to get an extension done. If you could
That's
get
the key.
Rasmus Anderson done for Rasmus Anderson done for a 5-year extension with the deal, is Liam Bichel? Are you going to let Liam Bichel stop you from making that trade?
No.
Those. So yeah, that's kind of where I
that
think
goes back. Hold on, that goes back to Ludz's original question. If you think that they're a Rasmus Anderson and another forward, we'll talk more about trade targets here probably in the following.
Well, just
segment.
go ahead. You use Panarin and Rasmus.
Sure.
If you add them to this team somehow, whatever it may take, does that make this team a top 4 team then?
Yes.
Contender?
I think so. Actually.
Are they not?
Yes.
Are they not? Just real quick, are they not a top 4? If they weren't in the Central, would you call them a top 4 contender right now?
They're 2-4-4 in their last 10. So they came out of the chute. People didn't know exactly what they were. Now they're figuring some things out about them, especially on the power play. They've been a really good power play team. They haven't been they're not lighting up the league 5-on-5. So
And that's
listen, where was I standing this summer? I said,
Same.
I'm
right
not
here.
on the hype wagon with everything that's going on.
I'm far more worried than I was early on.
Yeah.
Sam, do you have a stylus in your shoe?
I do.
Okay.
here's my
It
point
looks excited.
And here's my point on the Stars and the top 4 talk and everything like that. I think in this league right now there is a top 1, Colorado, where
Yes.
I think there's a top 1, and then I think there's a top 16 after that. Honestly,
but the problem with that is that top 1 you're going to have to play in either probably in the second round.
Exactly.
I know.
Exactly. That's the point here. So the question becomes, it's just a great organizational discussion point and everything like that. And you've also been the team where you have been for whatever reason, positively, you've been the kryptonite to Colorado in the playoffs. You've beaten Colorado in the playoffs recently. You've had better success against the Avalanche than any other team in the playoffs. So maybe you are the one, maybe you're the one that's got the juju that gets you past Colorado. But so it's honest. To me, this whole playoff year, it just feels like it's if you gave me Colorado versus the field, I'd take Colorado. But if you had to say, you know what, Colorado is not going to win. Colorado is going to falter. Their goaltending is something's going to happen or whatever, and they're going to stumble.
Ryan,
okay,
go
then
ahead
I
and
see
hit
a
that
spot
super
where the
chat.
Stars are one of the top. Yeah.
So there's Hidalgo has a Jamie Benn and a Mikko Rantanen that is to exactly what Lutz just asked. This isn't the year. Nill needs to fix that D-core first. Petro isn't a starting D on any contender, and the Stars pro scouting team needs help because who signs 46 and 3 in the same summer? They're talking about Dumba last year. I looked at Sam for a minute and went, wait, who's 3? We don't have a 3 right now.
You're asking number 3.
Yeah, no, it was Lyubushkin and Dumba the year before. So do you guys, let's ask, is this team a contender? I think the answer is yes.
Contender, yes. I don't doubt that.
Are they the number
I'm
one
saying
contender?
is, do you pull the trigger on a couple
No,
things?
they're not
because
the number
this
one
is
contender.
the year.
Well, here's the thing, though.
Yes,
my problem with
you
it,
do.
no matter what the answer is to that question, they're going to, because the trades they've made already has put them in a position they're not going to push this team down 3 years from now.
Well, and don't
you don't
wait.
trade for Mikko Rantanen, you don't make all those moves.
Yes.
They're going to push for winning the cup. Whether or not they are a real contender to win the cup or top 3 contender, whatever the question was, it doesn't matter. The management's put themselves in a position where they're going to push for it. They're going to make the move. If it's Maverick Bourque for a rental, they're going to make that move.
Which is the right thing to do,
Yes,
because
it is.
you didn't go get Mikko Rantanen to wait to build a team around him in 3 years. Jamie Benn isn't getting any younger. Matt Duchene isn't getting any younger. Miro Heiskanen, Esa Lindell,
Yep.
Rope Hintz, Jason Robertson. Obviously, these guys are not like way past their prime or anything, but don't go for it. You don't wait around. When you have a team.
It's also.
Go ahead, Sean.
It's also a loser mindset. Don't be a freaking loser, right? Just because you're in this, don't be the point of athletics and the point of sports is to try to win games. The point is to go, if you're going to, the entire thing is, oh my God, the Colorado Avalanche, they are the favorite to win the cup. They're this historic pace and everything like that. Fine. Yes, they're the favorite. I would pick Colorado right now to go into the playoffs, but you've beaten them in the playoffs. Someone's playoff. Tampa Bay Lightning had the best record in NHL playoff and regular season history. The Bruins had the best record in regular season history, lost in the first round. The Lightning were President's Trophy winner that got knocked off. So it's such a loser mentality to be like, this isn't our year, we're not going to go for it. It's such a loser mentality from anyone to take that way, just because so don't do that, right? Like, if that's the team you want to, if that's the team you want to root for, go root for the New York Mets. I'm a Mets fan. Just go root for them. It's a loser.
I'm sorry, Sean. All right. I want to ask you guys this, because
loser about things.
In our next segment, we're going to start naming names. We're going to talk forwards, D. We'll get to that. Luds, you brought this up at the beginning, and I wanted to touch on this more than 2 seconds. Which teams are actually sellers right now? I think there are 2, Vancouver and Calgary. And because of the way the standings, especially in the Eastern Conference, are really congested top to bottom, although Tampa's doing their best to try to separate themselves as they've won 11 in a row, I think there are a lot of teams that might eventually become sellers that still think they have a shot at making the playoffs. And the problem with some of the teams...
Who in the Rangers organization believes in them?
I don't know, but that's...
No one.
Okay, hold on. Let me ask you finish my thought, and then I'll ask you this. Because there are a bunch of teams that probably feel they need to make the playoffs, even if they aren't good enough to actually contend for a Stanley Cup. Yep. So in the next 3 to 4 weeks, right? Stars have 10 games left. There's the big roster freeze. Then there's a week and a half, and then the trade deadline March 6th. Before we get to the Olympic break, will any teams join Vancouver and Calgary as sellers, or is this going to go down to the wire and it be a scramble late? What do you think about who might be available for selection of players if you're going for trade deadline? Rangers? Is that?
Yeah.
Ottawa.
I agree.
Okay.
I don't think there's only 2 teams.
No, so keep going. Who else do you think?
Then
maybe
the
Columbus.
Rangers and Ottawa in the East.
Yep.
And I'm not really. Sean, you maybe Bones is going to make a change or big difference in Columbus.
They're not sellers yet.
I
agree with that.
Well,
I don't see that.
Make sure you clarify now versus you think might become sellers.
Yes, become.
Okay.
And then in the West, I think also Chicago is one. I know they're not far out, but they're
Vancouver's gas, Calgary's gas. I don't care what you think about St. Louis. St. Louis is done. Chicago's
I think
done.
Winnipeg.
Yeah. I think
Winnipeg is going to be a seller.
I think there's a goaltender that because of the teams ahead of them, Calgary, St. Louis, Chicago,
Anaheim.
You don't think that if that goaltender actually gets his
you're right.
suitcase together,
you're right,
that they could possibly get there? I don't think they're going to sell.
You're talking about Hellebuck.
Yeah.
But they also have to jump L.A., Utah, San Jose. Those are the three that are kind of
the only door that's open is that last
more
wild.
real. Yeah.
That's the only spot. I mean, I'm not saying that's going to happen. They haven't proved it all year, but I'm just saying they won 3 in a row now. Yeah. Maybe they're getting it together. Well, I don't know.
And suddenly Seattle made a run, and now they're in. I thought Seattle would be one of the sellers for sure.
I mean, everyone is the only team that's out of the playoff spot is Vancouver.
Yes. Yeah. And they've lost 5 in a row, and they're at the bottom.
Calgary's going to get rid of
They're
guys.
going to, but everyone's within. Other than that, everyone's within 8 points.
Sean, your thoughts on all this?
If you're Winnipeg, honestly, you're in the best spot because you know what? That second wild card spot is better than getting to the top 3 in the Central.
Oh yeah.
Just realize, you know what? Just with how the playoff format works. If you're Winnipeg and you're like, hey, you know what? Maybe we can piece.
You mean the first wild card?
Yeah, not the second one.
Second is bad.
But right now it's such a even. It's 49 points, 48 points for the 2 wild card spots. So obviously you don't want to go up. But if you're Winnipeg or a team in the Central, you're like, we don't really need to worry about catching Dallas and Minnesota. It's going to be a bloodbath. They're going to kill each other in the first round, and then one of them is going to get Colorado in the second round. So let's go through the Pacific. I think there's some teams. I think from a Winnipeg perspective, I think you look at it that way. I do agree with Luds because I think it was Pierre LeBrun said on the radio in Canada the other day where people have been saying that Doug Armstrong has accepted the fate that the Blues are not really that this is not the year for the Blues. And so I would put the Blues in the group where they're a team that from a selling perspective, they don't have a ton of sellable things. So it's not going to be a fire sale, but they are someone who I bet Doug Armstrong is a little bit more aggressive about retaining some assets. And if they get into the playoffs and play a couple games, great. His owner will get some more money for a season that lasts 8 days longer than it was supposed to.
And Sean, when you talk about St. Louis and Army, you know that is not in his DNA to make that comment. That is totally against everything he believes in. He's come out and said it, I think it was 3 years ago. He goes, I'm not having a fire sale.
Yeah.
We owe it to our fans to get to the playoffs. Now, when Army comes, now again, Army's stepping down, or actually just stepping up. He's stepping up, but we'll let the next guy worry about that.
Yeah,
but when Army says
be the
that,
GM,
good luck.
but
He still has
a little. He
has a little life left to say, here's what we need to do. Then you're taking over. Let's, again, you're right. They're not getting. I don't know if they're getting Kyrou, Parayko, whatever it may be. Anyway, I even had one defenseman on that I kind of liked. But
I have one as well.
I have one from them as well.
So the key here
Maybe
is for the Dallas Stars to continue their losing ways to drop all the way into the wild card, right, Sean? That's what they got to do here.
So you want them to tank to
get to the wild card.
To get the Vegas Golden Knights in the
Vegas.
first round. And then the Edmonton Oilers in the second round.
I'm looking forward to them being like, it's like all but locked, and then last 8 games of the season they replicate what they did last year and lose the last 8 games of the regular season or whatever to go like pick their playoff opponent. Like let's go with that, because that's clearly
they drop into the second wild card and they play Colorado in the first round instead of the second round.
And then beat them and then have to play Minnesota or the Utah Mammoth.
Yes.
All right, let's actually talk specifics. We've talked about the setup. Now let's talk players next here on the DLS Stars podcast.
Guys, Game Time, to put it simply, is the best way to buy tickets. Hockey, football, as Owen always likes to talk about, comedy, plays, anything. Go to Game Time. Game Time makes it super simple to get your tickets. They have zone deals. They have an awesome way to be able to view from your seat. I mean, it's way better than the old "a view from my seat" back in the day. You can see every direction. You can pan. It shows you different games, so you see who's sitting where. Really, really intuitive. I bought the tickets for Miami at SMU. Now, the game didn't go very well, but since that loss, Miami is undefeated and is playing in the national championship game. So I still attribute that to Game Time. And it was easy. Got $20 off the first one because you use code DLS. So make sure you take the guesswork out of buying NHL tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code DLS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, redeem code DLLS for $20 off. Swipe, tap, ticket, go. Download the Game Time app today.
So I'm done playing, and everything that used to be easy, well, not so much anymore. It hits you like a brick wall and feels like you're moving through mud. Nobody tells you about this stuff, but one day you're crushing it. The next day you're wondering what the hell happened to you. Well, here's the deal. Most men start losing testosterone around the age of 30, and then it's 1% every year after that. I wanted to feel energized again, so I keep trying, and I keep it simple, doing something natural that supports my body where I think I need it. So I started taking this Mars Men product. It helps your body unlock usable testosterone so you can feel like yourself again. There's this protein called SHBG that basically handcuffs your testosterone. Even if your body's making testosterone, SHBG locks it up so you can't use it. What's the point? With Mars Men, you feel stronger with energy. It's not like a cup of coffee. It's a steadier sense of drive throughout the day. Supports healthy T levels, energy, and stamina. A 90-day money-back guarantee. If you don't love it, you get your money back. But over 91% of users report a higher energy level. For a limited time, our listeners get 50% off for life, plus free shipping and 3 free gifts at mengotomars.com. That's mengotomars.com for 50% off and 3 free gifts.
All right. Now the point you've all been waiting for, where we start talking about names. Let's start with forwards, and then we'll do defensemen second. And we have 2 more segments, so if it has to go to the rest of the show, that's the whole point of this topic today. Luds, if we asked you earlier about needs, you said at least one top 6 forward. Who would you like to see Jim Nill go get in the next month and a half?
Well, I mean, like I said earlier, I'd like to see him get someone that can complement what he's trying to go for. And again, I don't know if Panarin wants to come and play here, but this is a place that you can win a Stanley Cup. We've all kind of agreed on that, and he's a free agent, and he's probably movable right now. I think they've kind of admitted that we're not going to be where we need to be, and let's get something for him.
This is strictly, in your mind, a rental?
Yeah. Well, I don't know that. Doesn't that all depend on Robo? I mean, if
yes.
Robo, I mean, it's Robo's deal. I don't think they're looking for anything but rentals. To be honest with you,
I agree.
Yep.
I don't know that there may be something.
Maybe defenseman.
Yeah,
that's the only way I would like.
Maybe,
Maybe.
And so I like Panarin. And I'll tell you, if it's a little bit of a depth thing, Sam and I were talking about earlier. I mean, look at this. I mean,
I know,
ridiculous.
Let him have it.
Let it fly.
Can you imagine? And this isn't exactly what Tyler's not going to be there, I don't think. But this is not exactly what Matt's thinking of. But can you imagine Evander Kane on the left wing and Jamie Benn on the right wing playing with Matt Duchene?
I don't know if
those are the kind of players that Matt is, giddy about playing with. But he sure would feel safe out there.
He would,
and be able to do. Kane is a free agent, I believe, right?
Yes.
He's a free agent.
Yep. Last year of his contract.
I mean, again, if you want to add a statement,
he's not just that either.
No, and he's a 20, 25,
when
30
he's
goal
healthy, he is a major force. The problem is that he's 34 and he's rarely been healthy over the.
All he has to do is be healthy for 25 games,
right?
20, 30 games. Let's get through whenever that deadline is. Get through the playoffs. And I'm not saying that's the guy, but I'm saying that could be a guy. If you could get a Panarin,
it piques your interest.
Yeah, Panarin piques my interest.
Yes,
I mean it piques a lot of things for me. I mean, I just think that guy playing with maybe that's a guy that you put with Matt
Marsman.
But I think those two are kind of the same. Marsman, yeah, they're kind of the same. I mean, he's more of a playmaker. Matt's more of a playmaker. Blah blah blah. I mean, I think he did score 50 goals a year ago or two. So he's just and he's won. You know what I mean? I think he's a motivated guy. I'm shooting at the moon, I guess.
John?
I should shoot the moon.
Major targets that you would like to see in the forward position for the Dallas Stars?
Muted.
I was being respectful to the ad read earlier and then never unmuted. I would like to. I was thinking about this today when I was driving back from the rink from the USA hockey stuff today, and we talked a lot about mentality and identity and guys that are going to go to hard areas. And I don't know exactly how you make it work, but if I'm talking forwards, and obviously one's going to take his team to fall off a little bit before it happens, but Luds, how much better do you like this forward group if I tell you got Blake Coleman and Boone Jenner in your top 9?
Who?
Boone Jenner and Blake Coleman?
He's on my list.
Has that one too.
I got him down.
Boone Jenner
but
and
Sean, he's a centerman.
Does he have to be in the middle?
I don't know. I don't know him enough.
He's played wing through. He's played both throughout his career.
Okay.
Like Boone is someone who is obviously he is a Columbus. He is someone who.
I thought you guys said Columbus wouldn't be selling anybody, getting moving anybody.
I know, but
here we go. Told you.
He's someone who.
Reel the tape back a little bit.
He's someone who wouldn't be available before the Olympic break, I don't think. But I think Jenner is someone who will be available after the Olympic break because I think they're under that team where they're going to they're not going to sell guys off. They're not going to do it while they just put a new coach in play and try to figure all of that out. But if over the next 8-9 games it doesn't work, and I know they beat Calgary last night fittingly, if it doesn't work, all of a sudden Jenner is to me, he's someone who I think would add a lot to what this team needs right now. So that's to me. Yeah. So
Sean, hasn't he been healthy, scratched a few times here? I thought I read that he wasn't in the lineup a couple times and he was a little disgruntled.
No? I mean, he missed 14 or 15 games early in the season with an upper body injury.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like he's the kind of guy you want to scratch, to be honest with you.
Boone Jenner, the only concern I would have is durability with him because he's been bitten by the injury bug over the last few years fairly frequently. Not holding that against him, but I think realistically you have to just be aware. Just like with Evander Kane. Yep. If they're healthy, they're great.
Wasn't he their captain?
Who?
Jenner?
Yes.
Is he still?
He is.
Yeah. Still,
he is a UFA at the end. He is a UFA this summer. So that's the point. He is a pure rental. So it is a.
What about What about you, Sam?
I go get Blake Coleman, as Sean said. I love everything about his game.
He's got 3 years left.
That's the tough part, right?
Coleman has 1 year left.
1 year. But the tough part is
5 years.
Anyone that has anything beside a rental is going to be tough. But I love the way he plays, and I think his speed, number one, down the wing, penalty killing, and I think he has a scoring flair. Playoff experience, because he's not just been in the playoffs and won cups with Tampa. He was a key factor in both of those runs for them. And obviously a Texas native, so it fits perfectly with all the story.
That's the most important part.
Yeah, he'll want to come here.
He'd be a motivated kid to play.
Yeah. So Coleman, I go Coleman, and I go Kiefer Sherwood. Those would be my 2 targets with if I could upgrade both at forward.
I have Sherwood on my list.
Why do you guys have Sherwood on?
So hold on. Everybody does because he.
Not everybody. Okay. He scores 5 goals a year.
Listen,
He's on pace for 30, Lud.
He has 17 goals this year, which is already pushing.
His average is about 5 over his career. He has one career that you think he's going to score 30.
Seasons,
he scored 20 last year.
So
what does he do different than Adam Ernie?
5 to 19. So
give Ernie a chance.
Okay, hold on. Let me set this up for you.
Let's read in quick.
Sherwood had 12 goals. Luds, hang on. Sherwood had 12 goals in his first 20 games this year. He has only scored 5 in the last 24.
Okay.
So does that concern you? Because he hasn't consistently scored at the same rate for the entirety of the season. And after he announced himself as like this career pace early, it's tailed off. Or is that just because Vancouver
he's
is a
gone
hot
back
tire
to who
fight?
he normally is?
Vancouver traded their entire team a few weeks ago with Quinn Hughes.
By the way,
he's on pace for 30 goals.
The reason why Sherwood's
in
interesting is because he's a $1.5 million cap hit and he's a rental. And so it would be the easiest fit for anybody's cap space.
And they've asked about him. They've been knocking on the door.
Yes.
I just don't know if you're getting anything that we're talking about in your top 9.
I take him over half of the roster. It's currently on this start.
You take him over Blake Coleman?
No, on the current team, I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
He's an upgrade for me over half this team.
Would he be above Bork in your lineup?
Yep. He's proven to score. He scored 19 last year, and he's on pace for 30 on the worst team in the NHL.
What about Kadri? Nazem Kadri is another one that you guys have brought up. I feel like that's not an easy one to make actually realistically work.
7 million a year or something like that.
7 million, and he has 3 years left after this year.
That's really tough.
I don't know how they're getting him in. And again,
he's a great fit.
Yeah, and it all goes back to Robo, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I don't know if it goes exactly back to Robo, but money.
Sean, is there any possibility you could go after a guy like Kadri and then just flip him if you couldn't fit him in the next year's salary cap world, or is that hard to do?
I mean, if you let me play video game GM, I have a couple flipping things I'd like to do. If you let me play video game GM, I would go get Dougie Hamilton for 3 months and then flip him for the same picks I traded for him this year, because I think, I know
defense talk, huh?
I don't care. I run my own race.
Yes, you do.
It's like, so yeah, I'm. If you're going to be creative about moving players, I think Kadri would, as Sam said, I think Kadri makes sense and he would fit on this team. I do want to go back to what Ludz's point on Sherwood is. He's a guy who is, what was it, Owen? 12 goals in his first 20 games, right?
Yep.
Was it?
Yep.
And then
12 in his first 20, 5 in his last 24.
Yeah, so like 5, that's not a 30-goal player. He's a hitter. He causes chaos. He set the NHL record for hits last season, which wouldn't be the worst thing to add to this. Wouldn't be the worst thing to add to this team, but this is a guy who, if you're Vancouver, like, would I trade a mid to late round pick for Kiefer Sherwood? Probably, yes, because that's what I think the hitting and the depth is. But this is a guy who's going to want $5 million next year.
See, if you could get one of the other guys that you guys listed and then add Sherwood, as Sam said, the second forward,
Yep.
I think
that's not my number one. He's not my big pick.
Is Foxa then out of the lineup when Kadri comes? One of your stronger penalty killers. Who are you taking out of the middle?
No,
you want to take Duchesne and put him back on the wing where he doesn't like.
No,
playing?
I think Kadri plays wing.
Yeah,
I think you put him on the wing.
You think Oscar Beck's staying in the lineup over him or something like that? Like that's
no. Let's just talking about down the middle.
Yeah, he plays wing.
Yeah, just so
he can play wing.
Yeah, I mean, you like, I think you find. Yeah, I think you figure it out. I don't think Rada comes out of the lineup.
Hey, Luds.
No.
I have another name I wanted to throw at you because it's been brought up a lot. I'm curious because they're a contending playoff team. What about Edmonton Oilers forward Andrew Mangiapane?
Yeah, we just talked about him before.
I said that earlier. I said I couldn't believe they got him for a 3-year deal at $3 million. I think it was. I think that was a steal. I've always liked him, but I told Sam, I said, I think he'd be great on the right side. I always see him going down the right side, scoring goals. He goes, he's a left winger. I'm like, well, he doesn't play his offside.
The good thing with this team is they can play both. But
absolutely. Yeah. I just think he fits into. I just like the way he plays the game. He's an energy guy. I mean, he's not a big guy. I don't even know what his size is. Not a big guy, but I've always liked the way that he played. But again, is he kind of like a Blake Coleman? I know Blake obviously, and Blake's he understands his role
And they
Blake
both
can
played for
play
the
in
Flames.
the middle. You know, he's
Yep.
a winger, but he can take face-offs. He's a great penalty killer. I think if you asked me, again, this is not fair to Mangiapane, but if you asked me of those two, there's no question I'd take Coleman over him. And really because he's a fiery kid. He was that kid that we had to pull him back. Like I'm talking about, you know, when he was with us younger, with our U18s and 16 before that. But he was a fiery kid. There's a compete level in Blake that's still there. So I wouldn't complain about either one of them, but I would lean obviously toward Blake.
Yeah.
Then we could bring in Seth Jones too.
And Mangiapane should be relatively cheap. I mean, he's fallen out with that team. He's been
healthy scratched. He's a $2 million.
They've kind of given up on him on that sense. So it shouldn't be someone you have to give up a bunch for.
I would think that they would have been trying to make deals already, and why haven't they been taking him? Why is he still there? That's the only part.
Question.
That's the only part. I don't know Mangiapane. I've never heard a bad thing about him, but I'm just curious if he's not in the lineup. You know, his agent is on the phone, and nobody's bid on it yet.
Curious
so is there
indeed.
something that we don't know?
Let's talk about
Ottawa
defense.
Would probably take him.
We'll talk about the defensive side of this next after some Sean and Sam live reads here on DLLS.
Screen wipe.
It's coming.
I got you, Ryan.
It's coming. Or there's a phone being
thrown. You want me to
thrown.
read something, Sean?
There we go.
You want me to read something? Go, Sean.
Okay. Which one are we doing first? Merchandise or Die Hard? Sorry.
Take them both.
Die Hard.
Let's talk about being a diehard. It's one of the coolest things you can do. All your friends will be jealous of you, and then all your friends can be just like you because you can tell them to become a diehard as well. And what do you get when you become a diehard, Sam? Well, you get access to all the wonderful writing that Sam does.
What if I told you?
Mavericks and Cowboys writing and everything like that. And becoming a diehard also gets you access to the exclusive diehard only Discord, which is a wonderful place for incredible conversation, not only about the stars and trades and how Sean's an idiot, but all these other things as well that you can go and track. So become a diehard. And what if I told you when you become a diehard, you get a free shirt as well, which my buddy Sam is here to tell you all about.
Oh, thanks, Sean. I appreciate it. And I've now met Sean a couple times, so we can call each other friends, I think. Merchandise.
Cherished acquaintances.
Folks, yes, merchandise. I finally got my Ryan, why don't you pop up the Face Off collection if you have it? These beauties. I got the green shirt way back when. The boys got their black nipple shirt when I was out.
Throwing Stars.
Throwing Stars, that's what I said. I just got this one today. I'm excited to put that one on, as well as a new shirt that I'm not sure if we're selling, so I'm not going to talk about it. But
there have no idea.
Plenty of cool shirts. We have the one I just got was the Wyatt Johnston one. I got that one recently. Love the color on it. We also have the hats that Luds always points to me. I'm not wearing them today, but you can see some of the branded Bills ones that are right in front of me on the thing, and you can now see them on the graphic right here. All new DLS hats, Stars, regular DLS, the Cadillac Luds DLS hat. We have all kinds of stuff, and as Sean just mentioned, if you're a diehard, get 20% off merch, and you get a free shirt if you sign up to be a diehard. So go to alldls.com and go shop now. Get that Finnish Mafia hoodie, guys. It's going to run out.
All right. Let's finish up our show today with...
Finish.
Get it?
That's nice.
Thank you. With defensemen. But we're going to actually start with a Swede. Get it?
I see what you did there. That's sweet of you.
Okay, so of the defensive targets out there, the one that seems to be the hands down rental option no-brainer is Calgary Flames 29-year-old Swedish right shot defenseman Rasmus Andersson. He has actually 1 goal shy of his career high. He had 11 last year and in 2022-23. He has 10 goals this year in 46 games. He looks to obliterate his career record in that regard on a team that's really struggled. He hasn't given up the fight, quite literally fought Boone Jenner. Could he be teammates with Boone Jenner in a month? We'll see. But he doesn't fight very often. I thought it was really funny. He fought Darnell Nurse in a 2015 preseason game. He also has pro fights against Curtis McKenzie in the AHL against the Texas Stars and John Klingberg in the playoffs.
Oh, I remember that.
In the 2022 first round.
He just attacked Klingberg through the whole game.
That was, and they were the second fight of that stoppage. But anyway, besides the scrapping, is with a $4.5 million cap hit and a pending UFA, is he the guy to round out this top 4 Luds?
Well, I would think he'd fit in nicely with Thomas Harley. That's where I would have him playing. But I do believe that when you say he's the top, that just means there's other teams that would like to pick him up.
I agree.
Too, and it's going to be all about the package and what are you willing to give up to get him. So, he kind of seems like the no-brainer out there for everybody.
Yeah, he does it all. That's the key, right? You're going to find some other players that I have on my list that are kind of either bring you a little more offense or just solid defensemen.
Go ahead, throw a few names out.
Connor Murphy with Chicago is one that I've always liked. Just a solid player. He's not going to give you a ton of offense, but give you 25 points. Good, solid guy.
Now, just to qualify this, and you said this earlier, and I agree. You need somebody to be that 4.
Yes.
Top 2 pairings. It doesn't hurt you, but it doesn't do you enough good to give away assets for another third pairing.
They have plenty of those. And
is Connor Murphy elevated to that? That's my only question.
I don't know, to be honest.
Keep going. Keep going with some
the
other
one
names.
who I think would be a better option right now than the Lobushkins and Lundqvist of the world is Justin Falk.
I have him on my list.
That was one that I like. Solid player, physical, big, plays really well 5-on-5. He can add some offense. He competes. That is someone I do think is up. So I think Anderson is one to me, and then Justin Falk is another one, and then the other one that's not as much on the offensive side of things is Luke Schenn. With Winnipeg. And that even if Winnipeg doesn't start selling, he's already finding himself as a 6, 7, 8 in that system. So, but that's still probably the Connor Murphy type of level.
But only for my third pairing.
Yeah, that's what I mean. He's more in this area. I think the 2 that are up there are Anderson and Falk.
Luds, you agree with those names? Justin Falk.
Yeah, well, Justin
move the needle to you.
I was thinking of. I like the way he plays the game. He can give you some power play time.
Right shot.
He plays in front and all that kind of stuff. I had Tyler Myers on there too, but again, he's making $9 million a year. He's got 1 year left. I know, but again, if you want to take a kick at the can, if that's where we're at, you get him for what, 3 or 4 this year for the rest of this year or something. I don't even know.
Yeah,
how that works.
Some cap gymnastics
somewhere in that neighborhood. But again, that means other people have to go next year. So.
And they will have around, assuming. Around that 9.5 for Sagan if they do decide to put him right now. They're only 3.2.
Go ahead, Ryan, and show their current cap situation because that is the thing we were talking about last night. Sean was advocating just go ahead and put Sagan on season-ending LTIR so you can utilize that entire cap relief to overage with LTIR, which they aren't right now. They have about $3.2 million in deadline space as it currently stands.
Yep, and then they get upwards of 9. I think Sagan is a 9.85 player, so they'll have room now. It's just about after, and that's why it's key for guys like Anderson. And you don't want to give up the full set of assets and then not be able to re-sign someone like that.
Okay, Sean. There's one other name that I wrote down because you and I were talking about it. We were kind of laughing about it, but a guy who's sort of fallen out in his current team, and that's New Jersey Devils defenseman Dougie Hamilton.
Please.
Yeah, and I want to be clear on the Dougie Hamilton thought for me is I'm playing armchair video game GM with the full plan to trade for him as a cap dump for New Jersey, have him play with Thomas Harley for the rest of this season, and then trade him again in the summer to recoup assets. So I want to be very clear on the Dougie Hamilton talk from me. It is I think he is a prime candidate for someone who could have a little bit. I actually think he could pair very well with Thomas Harley. I think Thomas's personality is he needs somebody who is Thomas Harley needs to be the alpha on a defensive pair. He needs someone, and a lot of the times that's why he's playing with Alexander Petrovic right now, is because he needs to be the guy that gets the puck and does this, that, and the other. Problem is, a lot of those times those guys aren't they're quad A guys and what they are. I think Dougie Hamilton would improve that. So that's the other thought for me on the Dougie Hamilton spot. The other one that I think is important for us to bring up, and I'm not saying that the Stars should do this, but I do think this is a name we are missing in all of this so far. Maybe it's on Lud's list, maybe it's not, but there is a defenseman who is a UFA who was part of the team that knocked the Stars out of the playoffs the past couple years. Glenn Goldson really likes, and he's a rental, and that's Brett Kulak for the Pittsburgh Penguins.
Pittsburgh Penguins.
Who was a cap casualty of the Jari Stewart Skinner deal or whatever it was. And so I'm not saying Kulak is I am not even advocating for them to go get Kulak. I'm just, when we're talking about names that are
you're looking at realistic possibilities, sure.
Realistic possibility, making $2.75 million. The head coach likes him already. And he's a rental. So once again, just throwing a name out there that might be more feasible than some of these other big fish that we talked about.
I am very anti Dougie Hamilton.
Oh,
I know Lutz
not
is
even
too.
close.
Only because,
and
Sean, I understand what you're saying. It's
if we
not a lot of
backwards,
risk.
Sam, him and I to the center line and pivoted to go back to the net to my goalie, I guarantee I could pivot and get there before him right now.
Yeah. And
God.
He's got injury problems. He's on the downhill. He's a
got
slow
foot
skater.
problems.
I just worry about if he was playing with Harley, I worry about them defensively, especially the current version of Thomas Harley. I think they would get beat a lot. But Kulak is someone that's kind of right on that bubble of could he maybe be better than your current 4 as well.
Right, because right now,
what about
your 4 is either
Petrovic,
Lundqvist, Lyubushkin, who's playing on the left. Yeah. Okay.
I know he's a lefty, but what about Mario Ferraro? What about Mario Ferraro? I know he's a lefty, but what are your thoughts on him?
Anybody?
Who?
Ferraro with San Jose.
Mario Ferraro.
Don't know enough about him.
Okay. I mean, he's 27.
You want to ask me about Ray?
Yeah.
Not related, I don't think.
Are you serious right now?
What?
It's his son.
It's his kid.
I thought Landon was.
Yeah.
Is that his other one? Is he?
Isn't it?
No,
I didn't
thought
know
Ray's
that.
son was
If
Landon.
that's the case,
Ferraro.
I didn't know that.
Played for the Griffins.
Who's the Griffin?
Maybe I've got this wrong.
Red Wings AHL team.
Let me get the Google machine out.
You find that out because we have a couple super
That's
chats
not
we have
right.
to get to.
Bing bong.
Wait a second. Doesn't Sean work for
Thank
that?
you.
It's not.
I was really
Doesn't Sean
worried
work
that
for
I
that
was.
hockey?
His dad is
prospect?
Robert
You're
Ferraro.
right.
Or elite prospects?
Yes.
Sean had me thinking I really missed
Isn't
something
elite
important.
prospects knowing about all the players,
I was-
young players, and stuff like?
Oh, that's.
Can I see that hat again, Sean? Sean, what's that hat you're wearing right there? Yeah, it is. Yeah, that's elite. That's where you guys know about all the players and everything, right?
Yeah.
Date of
I
birth,
don't.
where they were born, yeah, all that kind of stuff.
The Swedish database and the database run by the Swedes I work for knows all that, so I don't have to know that. So
There you go. All right, first super chat of a
Yeah,
couple that
oh
we have
boy.
here.
We need to get Ray on the show now.
Yeah, we do. He said he would at some point. Meaty Hammer with a Heiskanen 99 cup here. Give us the guys y'all'd like to keep outside the obvious ones, like Steele, Blackwell, and then who'd y'all like to hopefully stay once the dust settles? So to shorten that, aside from Heiskanen, Hintz, etc., Rantanen, Robo, who else do you want to see stay and not get sent away? Is it Sam Steele? Would you like him to stick around?
I think Sam Steele is a good player.
Yeah.
I do. I
do too.
know that everybody gets a little woody when he's playing up in the
Just
top
in the wrong
6.
spot.
I get
That's all.
that. Yeah, we understand that, and I think we're in the same boat at times. But they have confidence in what he does up there. But can he be a bottom? Is he a better bottom 6 if he got the right top 6?
If he was in on the third line, we would have no complaints about it.
Yeah.
Problem is that Matt Duchene is supposed to be their third line center. So if you're putting him on the third line, you're running into the same problem again. So
I know.
Rance is sitting over there going, good luck.
I wonder if Rope Hintz should be on the left wing. We'll talk about this later. But if you're thinking about players and you want Duchene in the middle and you need Wyatt in the middle,
or do you need Wyatt?
Or do you need Wyatt? Or do you need Rope? I don't know.
Let's go to the other super chat real quick.
Bing bong.
Hidalgo with a Heiskanen and Rantanen. 2 words, Rasmus Ristolainen.
Yeah.
So there was a time where he was
Buffalo?
kind of sought after.
believe
No, he's
so.
with the Flyers.
Well, I
He's
didn't think he
31
was.
now. He has
Didn't
this
he
year
make
and
like
next
9 million
year
or something like that?
5.1 million
Oh,
AAV.
it was more than that.
I feel like he's had a lot of injury problems over the last couple of years. When he's healthy, he's a big right shot defenseman. And of course, he'd fit in with the Finnish Mafia, but doesn't Philadelphia kind of fancy itself a playoff team right now?
Yes.
Exactly.
So I don't know if he'd even be available, right? That's one of the reasons why we keep looking at Rasmus Andersson in Calgary, is because availability on a team that clearly is going to be a seller.
And wants to probably move forward from him in general.
Probably not
to
resign.
reboot.
Or I think has he even said that he's not probably going to resign?
He is not. I think the last I heard was he's not declared either way. He's not against signing.
I heard I think we had Eric Francis on who said that it doesn't look like they're going to continue moving forward together. And that was in the summer. But all right, as we wrap this one up, any final thoughts we're going to be talking more and more about trade deadline as it gets closer and closer. And you hope that health doesn't require you to have to pivot for something. But if I gave you the keys and you could force a couple, what would you do, Lutz? If you could make 2 moves to upgrade this team, are we looking at Anderson and Panarin for you?
For me, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't think one is obviously obtainable. I don't know where Panarin,
if you could only have one of those 2, which one would be more important?
Probably Anderson.
Yeah.
Sam?
Sure.
Coleman and Anderson would be my 2.
Sean?
You know what? I'm on the Panarin trade, honestly. We've talked about this show, and throughout the show, things you learn and listen and you think about it, and go get me Artemi Panarin. Just I'm okay.
It'd be a hell of a pop, wouldn't
if
it?
you can do it. If you can do it, he's the clear best player of this group by far. But you just wonder if he could do it.
Luds, I know we don't have a whole nother segment to do. Is there any chance you could pry Alex Tuch out of Buffalo? Because I wouldn't hate having him.
He wanted to go there. They're now going to be probably. I mean, it looks like they're going to be a playoff team for the first time.
Going,
this millennial. So, but I think he loves Buffalo, and I think he will do everything to stay there. I think he'd even take that team, discount.
Yeah, I think he resigns there.
Yeah, I think with what they've got going on right now, yeah.
Is there any? There's also the other thing. When I just go back to the quick Panarin thought, I just have this weird feeling in my stomach for the thing is Panarin's going to end up in the Central either way. Is where I go on this.
Yeah,
he could end up in Colorado
or Minnesota.
Minnesota feels like a fit too.
I feel like Panarin's going to end up in the Central either way, and we've talked all about acting like one of the.
See, don't you think though, Sean, where he's at, and again, he's not an old guy, but where he's at, he wants to go where the majority, there's more weapons that he can get pucks to, and I don't know what other team doesn't this team have more. Does this team not have more individual weapons than Colorado now, or are they about even?
But it's not his. But it's Panarin's stuff is going to be more of where can they work out the deal, right? Like that's going to be.
But it's also Panarin has full say.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying is I think his deal is ultimately going to work out in the summer. I mean, but I don't know. I think he's. Yeah. I don't know. Well, hey, speaking of Rasmus Anderson, can you check with because I'm pretty sure Rasmus, that's Glenn's son, isn't it? Glenn Anderson's son? Isn't that his son, Rasmus? No? I thought maybe
I deserve that. I deserve that. No, I deserve that. I deserve that.
All right.
Ask the rest of the guys from Elite Prospects there.
Hit us up.
I deserve
We will be talking about this as we get closer to the March 6th deadline, of course. But we hope that this was a useful exercise to sort of see where we are and where the Stars may go over the next month and a half. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We're on tomorrow night at 7:30. We'll be in the studio, the 3 of us. Sean will not be on tomorrow. Stars pregame show. They play the Utah Mammoth, who just had another big win at home over the Toronto Maple Leafs last night. So let's do Stars Mammoth with Ryan, Sam, Luds, myself. Also, thanks to Sean. We'll see you tomorrow here on DLLS.
That's like serious
home run, 5-star, not 4.9, 5-star.
We all silly like the mayor.